Thursday.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Yeah, good. Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Design Zeah. So we're in a fourth week, is it?
Yeah, fourth week now.
Yeah, fourth week of this stream. It's our second week of development, second week of Zeah beards as well, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm growing my beard. I will cut it soon.
Are you?
I think.
You're going to grow your beard, you promise?
I'm not going to grow it, no. I'm going to cut it.
Okay, fair enough.
I just thought I'd leave it long for you today
Right, okay.
and cut it tomorrow.
Because that's not weird.
No, it's not.
Okay, so moving on with the stream. Today we're just going to be showing you the map editor. Many of you have asked about the map editor, haven't they, in the past?
Yeah, they have, yeah. We haven't shown it yet.
No, we've not really had a good opportunity to show it on stream, so this is the first time you'll get to see the map editor. And Chris Archie's making his usual appearance in the background there.
Just making sure you keep it good.
Cool. Okay, cool. So if you just want to...
Yeah, sure. So this is Lovercane. This is a really small 3D port, but I'll show you it in the game in a second. So what we've done is we've made the wall kit. We've made the initial first floor wall kit, which I think consists of about 7 pieces. We'll be adding more variations to that later, but we've got windows, 2 variations of the first floor of just a straight wall. We've got a corner piece. We've got another 2 door end pieces and an actual door as well. Yeah, so what I've been doing is making loads of different kind of variations of houses and then copying and pasting them all over the map. So this is the second floor we have here. So again, we have, these are all different because the second floor and the first floor are different, so you'll have different variations everywhere. Again, we still need to make more variations because it looks a bit too repetitive at the moment. You guys just want to look at that. Cool. And then we've got the third floor, which is, I think is most impressive anyway. We've got this kind of pipe thing going on where we just kind of made a modular pipe kit and a normal roof kit as well with these kind of different kind of edged kind of roofs. Yeah, so I'll show you it in game anyway.
I'm going to get you a thesaurus for Christmas.
Yeah, I know, but I can't get my words out. It's too nerve-wracking. But anyway, so this is it in game. Let's see. So the whole of Lovercane is mapped out, but
Buy this
obviously
t-shirt, can't they?
They can also buy a t-shirt, yeah, the Dead Man t-shirt. Where did they buy that, Matt?
They buy that. If you go to oldschool.runescape.com, you'll find a buy merchandise button. You go in there for $15.99. You can look as good as that.
Okay, that's cool.
They can, yeah.
In case you didn't hear that, it's runescape.com, wasn't it?
Yeah, runescape.com, oldschool.runescape.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then buy $15.99.
I think that's a bargain, $15.99.
I do. It's top quality.
Yeah. It's like QVC in here now.
yeah, so making loads of cool different variations of buildings. This is personally my favourite one. Kind of tower, bridge, kind of connecting towards each other. You can walk under it and everything. It looks nice.
Did we find out if remove roof's gonna
I
make
don't
all
think
that
it
vanish?
is. No, I don't think it is. I've
That's
added
cool.
remove roofs to it as well.
So what we're going to try to do is actually add more depth to the scenes that you're walking around in. As you can see, these buildings are nice and tall. We've increased the height by just probably about 5% on each of them, but it's really made a big difference. So you're going to be able to walk under these large passageways. You've seen the pipes on the roof, so you're also going to be able to walk underneath the pipes, which are going to be bridging from building to building. Just to explain a bit of the background behind this environment. So this is House Lovercane, who's a mining house, and they've essentially ploughed Zeah and mined all of its resources out and made their atmosphere in their own section of the city so toxic that they now have to reside in these houses, which are almost like air sealed. So that's why the doors have got sort of valves on them that you can see, and the windows are all sort of extra thick with bars and everything. So it's supposed to look very industrial and very sort of like knocked up very fast. So everything in this place is supposed to be very oppressive to the eye, I think.
Yeah.
You can see even the interiors, even though they're clean, it's just very sort of like crudely constructed with all these rivets just to get these buildings up as fast as possible. So there's no real appreciation of beauty or anything in this society. It's just all about pure industry.
Yeah.
Cool. Are we done with Lovercane?
Okay, yeah, I think we are. Yeah, no, not really. Yeah, that's it, really.
Cool. There will be more that's fleshed out next week on this. This is us doing a process that we call white boxing.
Yeah.
It's where we get often people will be drawing a map like Matt's drawn for us.
Yeah.
And then we just go through all of it and map out the basic areas just so we've got a rough design to start off with.
Yep.
And then we can start fleshing things out with props and scenery, a few more additions to the sort of buildings to make them look a bit more unique.
Yeah, definitely.
From one another, which will be where we're taking it next week. But for this week, we've just white boxed things just to give ourselves an idea of how this kit's going to work together and build a basic outline of the map that we've been given.
Yeah, you don't want to go into things straight away because what if it doesn't work or something doesn't look right, you just want to white box it quickly and see if it works, and then go in and do all those details that you want to do. So yeah, so next I think we're going to show you Hostidus. This isn't fully completed yet, but it's halfway there. We still need to do a load of we still need to finish off the wall kits and the roof kits and everything like that. Let me just get the map.
Yeah, so Hostidus won't be as developed the buildings as this. It's more just a layout, so we can just pen off areas. And pretty much so the content team as well, hopefully in a week or so, can start writing a script on top of it all and have an idea of where things are going to be.
Yeah. So yeah, as I said, the wall kit isn't complete, it's still a work in progress. There will be endings here and doors as well. These are the windows you can see. Let's just walk around this area. So this house is the farming and cooking house, I think. Is it cooking? I think
It's farming, cooking.
Farming and cooking. There's loads of fields, people's farmer houses.
It's going to be agricultural farming here as well.
Yeah, definitely agricultural.
That's the new thing that we're really kind of bringing to it.
We've got these cool vines.
Yeah, we're going to try and sort of make it feel like the plants and everything are really part of this environment by making everything made out of plants that we can other than buildings. We haven't really started that process yet.
No.
But you can see those vines, they'll be like the fences and
we'll
pen things off.
Yeah, definitely. We'll work around putting vines in around the walls, and yeah, it's very blocky at the moment. Let me show you some more cool things up here. Maybe not up here, maybe up here. So yeah, this is going to be the TIFF minigame. I'll be 3D modelling a plant later for you guys to see for the minigame. This is a bit like Livid Farm, but not really. It's our take on it. So this would be a cool place to go when you're in Hostidus. Some wheat fields. Oh, damn it, I ran out of run energy. Ooh.
Oh, so windmill there.
Yeah, just copy pasted one just for block out. Yeah.
But for those of you that are kind of making judgments on this already, I'd ask you to reserve your judgment just because we haven't really started developing these areas properly. This is just an insight for you guys to see the process as we progress.
Yeah.
We're only in our second week of development, so we obviously can't produce something that looks completely polished in that time. So I just appreciate it if you hold off on a lot of the negative comments, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so this is Hostidus. Should we show them Arceus?
Yeah, so like with Arceus, I only just finished a lot of that wall kit today. So we've actually just put together a small building just to show you how the constructs work. Now this is going to be the land of the necromancers. It's kind of like a dark magic land where everything's going to be very bleak. So this is a typical building for House Arceus in here.
It's made out of deadwood, isn't it? The insides.
Yeah. So for that Halloween event, I really liked the deadwood trees that we created, and that just seemed to kind of fit the whole theme of this place. It's kind of like a place, if you like, that kind of looks in between life and death, much like the Arceus elders that you're going to see as the inhabitants of this place. So they're going to look not quite human in a sense, and this place really needs to kind of look very nightmarish and kind of like it's almost in limbo.
Ooh, okay.
So you can see with the floor kit as well, this is actually just one tile, and then we just rotate it around to make many different patterns.
Yeah.
So that floor is going to be in every house, but each house will have its own unique floor pattern just to make all the buildings look different. And we've got these crystals over here as well, actually colouring the landscape to make it feel like they're lighting the place up. And there's just a few thrown in there just to show you how that's going to look roughly. But once it's more fleshed out, there's going to be like whole sort of like mazes and everything made out of these crystals. And you're going to have to navigate to the Blood Altar, Soul Altar, and Dark Altar, which are being pulled at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah,
The
they're
Dark
winning
Altar
though,
isn't
yeah.
being pulled, but the Blood and the Soul ones are. So you're going to have like red variations of this crystal and sort of purple variations as well as you move to each area.
Yeah, so I think that's all well, not all, but we've done a lot this week, and this is what we've done, so we're just showing you this. So what should we show them now? Should we get on with modelling maybe? Or I don't think there is anything else to show.
Have we done any of the other houses? No, we've just done these 3
Yeah,
so
we've just
far,
done
haven't
these
we?
3.
Okay.
We haven't mapped out any
We
shades
haven't,
unit.
no. So next week, what you can expect to see is all of these buildings in place, and you'll also see assets taken throughout the rest of the game. A lot of them will be copy and pasted in, just as placeholders, because we're going to need to actually replace those as we go and develop new assets.
Yeah.
I keep burping. It's really bad.
Cool. So I'm going to start modelling now. What I'm going to model today is a plant for the TIFF minigame, which I said earlier is almost like the livid farm. There's one plant, but 3 different variations of it. So you get it when it's in its sprout variation, and then when it's in its medium growth, and then when it's fully grown. I'll be modelling the fully grown version because me and Gareth spoke earlier. It's just easier to delete geometry rather than add on geometry to the variations of the plant.
Cool.
Okay. Let's get on with it. Right. So this is something I did earlier. Don't worry about that. Okay. So this is 3ds Autodesk Maya. I use this a lot for 3D modelling. I've got.
Sorry, Alfred, before you start.
Yeah.
If you guys want to post questions to us while Alfred's talking, I'm just going to be writing them down on a pad.
Yeah.
So once we get to around 10 questions on the pad, then I'll stop Alfred and we can start asking questions if you want to get involved with the chat.
Sure. Cool. So what I've got here is the actual grid size of Jagged, which we'll be importing the model into later. So you can see it's cut up into loads of different segments. I want this plant to be pretty big, so one tile is about the same width as a human, I think. Yeah, it probably is. And the same width as one wall. So I want the plant to be probably a 3x3, so it'll be this big. Don't think if you guys can see it, 3x3. So yeah, I want it to be quite big. So I'm going to start off by making a sphere. Ooh. See, that sphere is too high poly, so we're going to lower it. Just get my reference up. Cool.
Just tell them absolutely everything you're doing, even if it's just selecting a vert and stuff like that.
So what I'm doing is positioning the axis point, so I can snap it to the grid a lot easier, or even snap it to verts easier. So you can see here, I can move it to the bottom vert, and then snap it around anywhere I want. Yeah, I'm going to be deleting the bottom faces because players will never be able to see that. And then I will be moving the axis again. I want this plant to seem very grounded to the floor, obviously like it's just grown out on the floor, so I don't need that bottom bit there at all. So this plant is going to be like it's going to be a bulb, kind of like what Bulbasaur has on the back of his back. It's going to have a few boils on it. They look like boils anyway. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting verts so I can chamfer them to create circular geometry from it.
What are you doing now, Alfred?
Yeah, I'm still doing that. Okay, cool.
So whilst it's quiet, I'll just answer a few of these questions.
Right.
So first one, when will EOC be implemented? Never. Probably.
No.
It's not really going to happen. Player-owned house kits for Arceus, that dark area. I would like to do player-owned house kits for every house on Zeah, but it just depends whether or not Ash is going to have enough time before release, which I doubt it, to reprogram the player-owned house system, because we've just got room for one more wall kit. Then unfortunately we can't expand past that without some serious content work. So it's probably something that will be done for after release, but I would very much like to do player-owned house kits for all of those, and those would be probably a top-end reward for people.
Yeah.
And yes, you would probably lose them if you move to another house as well. So I think that'd also be a real complication to implement too, actually taking someone's house away, but have to see. How hard is it to gain favour once you change house? I'm not too sure at the moment. What I can probably guess though is that when you do change house, it won't be much harder to gain favour, if at all, but you will definitely lose favour with the other house.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the one thing I can guarantee you. Mod Maz is currently writing that system at the moment, so we'll be able to give you more information on that as we progress throughout the weeks. Is Maphead custom made? Yes, Maphead is custom made. It's one of the tools that was made in-house. You can't get it outside of Jagex.
Yeah. I think one day we might be giving it out. I don't know, like a little sandbox for people to. Yeah, I think Matt had the idea of just like making it a sandbox so people can use it, make their own maps and stuff. But I don't know what the situation is on that.
We are cruel, aren't we?
Yeah, I know, right?
What kind of NPCs will there be on the continent? There'll be some NPCs that are unique to each house, so you'll get a feeling that each house has its own inhabitants. There'll also be some monsters to fight with House Shazian, which will be lizard people, which will vary in size, and you will get a boss variation of those as well. Outside of that, there won't be too many NPCs, and I'd say for a lot of the people wandering around some areas, we might be reusing some of the existing player kits to make new NPCs out of that, just because it seems a lot better and it's a bit more fitting for the rest of the game as well. Okay, so just enter your questions in, I'll write them down, and when Alfred's got a quiet point where he's not talking about anything.
Which is right now.
Which is right now, is it?
Yeah.
I've run out of questions, so you need to talk. Then I'll be able to answer your questions.
So I'm creating a bulb right now, as you can see. Deleted the top bit of it. Actually, I deleted a bit too much. Delete this bit up here, because we're going to be adding leaves that are going to come out and sprout out of it, as well as some more bulbs on the top of it. So right now I'm going to be selecting the faces of the bulbs, of the kind of protrusions that will come out of the bulb.
Do you want to talk more about the minigame as well, Alfred?
Oh yeah, right. So let me just get up the minigame hero job.
Okay.
Because it has everything on there. Okay, so the TIFF minigame. I'm going to read you out the brief. So players are given a strip of land. They need to grow and plant. They need to plant and grow good quality produce to get the maximum amount of farming XP. Players need to plant up to 30 individual crops. These need to be monitored consistently to help as many of them grow as possible. Adding fertilizer from saltpeter will increase the growth rate dramatically. Saltpeter you'll be able to get from another house. So this minigame kind of combines with other houses as well. Which will increase the growth rate dramatically. However, players will have a less chance to react to disease because they need to keep an eye out for the rest of the plants and keep them watered and harvested. Once a player plants a single seed, it needs to be watered within 2 minutes to stop the seed from dying. Within 2 minutes of it being watered, it will reach its next growth stage. It will need watering again within 2 minutes once it has reached the growth stage to survive. If it's watered within 1 minute of this stage, it has a chance to grow into a higher quality crop. The same process happens 2 more times, advancing to a fully grown crop. Once the crop is ready, it needs to be harvested within two minutes, or it becomes blighted, which basically means it will just die. If fertilizer is used, times are halved. So yeah, pretty much keep your plants alive as fast as possible. You'll get the best XP rates if you do that. Not the best XP rates, the best XP from that minigame.
Do you want to clarify?
So it's a very, yeah, it's just a very fast-paced game. You won't get the best XP. You'll get, I don't know, similar XP to the best XP probably.
Yeah, I think the whole point is it's just a more engaging way of getting XP. We're not making it easier to get XP, certainly. Definitely not doing that. Yeah. What are we not doing?
Giving them the best XP.
Yeah,
never.
We're definitely not doing that. Right, cool. Just thought I'd get that out there, because we're definitely not doing it.
Yeah.
You just want to talk to people, telling me you're selecting faces.
So I'm selecting faces and just extruding them in because right now it has got quite a harsh edge to it. Just giving it a softer kind of look because these protrusions aren't hard edged. I'll be selecting these ones and bringing them in a bit more so they match with the rest of the protrusion. This one's alright. So yeah, I'm just, for those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I'm making a plant for the TIFF minigame, which is going to be the minigame in House Fastidious. It's basically a minigame where you have to grow plants, keep them keep them watered and cured to grow them as fast as possible to get good XP. Similar to Livid Farm, but not really. So yeah, this plant will have 3 different variations. At the moment I'm just making the biggest variation so that later on I can just delete geometry and reuse it. So it just saves a lot of time if I do it that way. Get rid of the wireframe. I'm going to soften it now because a lot of it's got hard edges. Probably going to have to bring out these a little bit more. I want a better silhouette.
What are the axes that you're selecting there to extrude them on, Alfred?
I can select them on the green axis here, which will just do it on any point, but it will come out just straightforward. You can do it on the red and the blue axis. I think that's the red is X and yellow is no. It says here what the axes are right here on the bottom left. Will it have motion control?
Probably not. Okay, right, so we've got some questions here from the chat. Will there be a boss in the mage area? There will be a boss in the mage area. It won't be released as soon as Zeah comes out, but the boss that was talked about at RuneFest, called the Winter Tods, will be in that particular area. There'll be some gates to the Winter Tod that you'll be able to see, and then you can just go up to an NPC once the content is released, gain access to them, and you'll be able to go to a new sort of frozen wasteland area of Zeah that we're going to be creating post-release of the current content. The boss will be polled, so you'll be able to see full details of it then. There was a concept that was shown during RuneFest of a creature that's kind of like incorporeal in its appearance. That means it's not physical. It's made out of light and vapour, and it's essentially the spirit of winter cold that's come down from the mountains, and House Arceus has to protect the city from this creature that's been manifested in recent times. So what else? Do we ever create something new? All we seem to say at the moment is we're just going to reuse this and reuse that. We've created a lot of new wall kits for Zeah. Most of it we're going to try and create brand new, but as we've only got 10 weeks time to do this, a lot of the time we're going to have to reuse assets and essentially get a build together so we've got something to release with, and then hopefully we'll have around a month after that to sort of polish everything off, start creating these new assets. So the main aim really is just to get Zeah out there and released, just because it's been a very long time that we've been saying we're going to do it, and so we just want to crack on and get it done to a decent standard still. But the main goal is actually to get it out there instead of having people waiting and sort of holding on to see what it's going to be all about. Because at the for a long time Zeah was just a word, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And people were constantly asking what it was, so now it's time to kind of deliver on that, I think.
Yeah. Plus we've got loads more time to finesse and bring out more updates to it later on down the line.
Absolutely. So, also, are we going to get a third artist, someone asked? It would be nice to have a third artist. There's no plans for it now. I think if we continued growing as a product, we might stand more of a chance of doing that. But for the time being, I'm afraid it's just us two.
Yeah.
Has Zeah passed the polls? Oh, did they say that? No, I don't know. I think someone said, what are you guys going to do when Zeah fails the polls? Zeah has actually passed all the polls, so it is definitely going to be released, just to clarify that.
We wouldn't be doing this if it hadn't been released,
Yeah.
like full maps and everything like
Absolutely.
that.
Okay, so uni student internships. Do we do university internships? Yes, we do. I believe we do them mainly with Anglia Ruskin, and we've had quite a few people that have come here as interns and got some good feedback, got some good work experience, and in some cases actually got jobs out of their internships.
Yeah.
I think they can look up internships on Jagex.com.
Yeah,
Jagex.
Yeah, if you go to Jagex.com and look in the careers section, you'll be able to see. There's quite a few internships available at the moment. Actually, you guys need to take a look. It's really impressive. Actually, it's quite a lot.
I thought they said it would be polled again before it is released. No, we didn't say that, did we?
No, I don't think.
No, it passed the poll. There's no point in repolling something once it's passed, really. It passed with a massive percentage, didn't it?
Yeah.
Was it at least?
I can't remember what the percentage was.
85–90% that it passed with. So it's a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Right. How many metachlorians are there needed to defeat these lizard plants? For those people that don't know, metachlorians is something from Star Wars, and isn't part of the Old School Runescape canon. So we won't actually be using metachlorians in the game, unfortunately. It would be cool if we did.
Yeah.
Could have lightsabers and stuff and
Be
use the
awesome.
Force, but maybe that could be the new skill. The Force.
Yeah, the Force.
Yeah.
Oh.
Do you think we'd get?
You can levitate objects.
Get sued for that?
Nah.
LucasArts wouldn't mind. They'd let us have it, wouldn't they?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so how much of our time is used on Zeah?
All of it.
Oh, yeah, pretty much all of it at the moment. Are we using our time productively? Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course we are. We're working our socks off, aren't
exactly.
we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we manage to do this in the time frame that we have, we've definitely done something right.
Yeah, I'll start thinking I'm a genius actually if we manage to do that. I'll get a hell of an ego on me. It's not really a good thing, I don't think. Okay, do we get satisfaction from players enjoying it? Absolutely. We definitely do get satisfaction from that.
Yeah.
I remember when the Abyssal Sire came out, I think I sat on social media for about an hour just watching people play it, and in my lunch hour as well. It was freakishly satisfying just watching everyone die to it at first as well.
Oh yeah, when that big ball came out of his
Absolutely.
stomach, and just everyone dropping.
Especially since we had like mechanics in there which only we knew about, and we're just waiting for everyone to discover it. And you've got the streamers online as well, actually giving you a proper running commentary on what they're doing and how they're experiencing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably the most satisfying part of the job actually, and I thought it was just the development that was satisfying, but when I actually saw that was unreal. It was really good. And with the Halloween event as well, I really enjoyed seeing all those people just flooded in that environment.
A lot of people did that event, didn't they?
Yeah, I don't really know what
90,000.
percentage of our
It was like
community did.
90,000, I think.
90,000?
Or more than that, actually, because that was before it ended. It's probably more than that.
It's cool.
Pretty good. So yeah, right now I'm making the first batch of leaves, which are the smallest batch on the top. I'll be making much larger, grander leaves, which come out. But yeah, first making these small ones. So.
Okay, that's an interesting question. Why don't we take our time with development? Because it's already taken far too long to get this product out. We just want to get something out there now. We can do something of a good standard in this time. We're going to have to do a lot of work to actually get there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unachievable. But at the end of the day, we've been saying we'd be doing Zeah for a very long time now.
And
So
I think people really want to just see it now.
yeah, it's about time we just got on with it and actually delivered the product instead of talking about it for another 6 months. Why is it so dark? All right, I'll start writing questions down again now, and Alfred can talk you through what he's doing.
Okay, so now I'm gonna make a planar for the larger leaf. So I'll be modelling the leaf on its own and then attaching it to the model later. Just bring it up here. So I've just got a straight, long plane. I'll be making a leaf out of this. So right now I am. Why is it doing that? Right now I'm connecting the edges to make a straight line between them. It's almost like edge looping, but a lot more accurate. Edge looping basically I'll show you what edge looping does. This is edge looping. So if I click this, split selected edge ring, you can see you can make an edge along a surface anywhere you want. Whereas if you just do connect component, you have a fully accurate one which goes straight in the middle. Okay, I think I know why it's doing that. Okay, that's why. It's on turbo smooth. Okay.
Tell them why it's doing it.
Okay, so basically, if you want high poly models, similar to 3ds Max where you can have turbo smooth, there's this option where you can press 3. You can't really see it on this one. I'll show you a sphere. So you can see here, if you press 3, it goes a lot more smooth. These don't actually represent the polygons. To actually see the polygons that you've made, you have to convert it to smooth mesh preview. There you go, you can get loads more polygons doing that if you want to make high polys or anything like that. Okay, let's carry on with this leaf. So I'm going to connect the two top edges together, two top verts together to get the point. It's going to be almost like a palm leaf, but a lot smaller. I want to get the top of the leaf. I want to create the stem. So I'll have to be connecting these two top bits up again. Don't want them stray. And I'll be extruding these two top bits here to create a stem. And bringing these two back using the merge select, which is basically select two components, either edge or vertice or face, and it will snap them together into the middle point. So this is very hard edged, so I'm gonna snap them together like I showed you before. Oops.
Cool. Do you mind if I ask questions?
Yeah, sure. Go.
Okay, cool. What programs do you use for 3D modelling? It's the question that comes up every stream, so
yeah.
let's plug these products.
Yeah, so I use Autodesk Maya. I've always used it. I think it's almost as good as 3ds Max. Probably is just as good.
Yeah, it does say so.
Yeah, that's what I use mainly. For sculpting 3D packages, I use ZBrush. I used to use Mudbox, but I just found that ZBrush was a lot more complicated, which means it's better to use. Anyway, yeah, you?
Me, I use 3ds Max. I use that to make basic meshes and what we call low poly modelling, which is what you're seeing on the screen at the moment. I also use ZBrush as well when creating high poly sculpts. That can handle a higher level of detail than 3ds Max. And it essentially allows you to create indentations in geometry. Instead of pulling around individual points like Alfred's doing now, you would literally be able to take a cursor and draw on objects, and it would push it in like you're modelling with clay. So it's a lot more versatile for creating organic shapes. I personally don't like it for hard surface modelling, which is making things like desks, table, chairs, man-made things, or man-made things really, isn't it? But for organic forms like people, for plants, it's really, really good, and I would recommend it to anyone that wants to create realistic looking models, definitely. How many quests will there be on Zeah? So we're releasing Monkey Madness 2 in the new year. We're going to see how that quest goes down with the community. If they say, oh, actually we don't like quests and there's low engagement on it, which I very much doubt, then I don't think we'll be doing any more quests after that. But if it goes down really well, then we can definitely look into doing some quests for Zeah. I personally love to do a quest for each house over the course of a very long time, obviously, but it would be good if we just did something to flesh out all of the houses, or at least one really massive quest that takes you around every single house and actually gets you to engage with the... And
like actually goes deep into the lore of why these houses are here and stuff like that.
Absolutely, that'd be cool. Oh, okay, right. So we do these projects on Fridays. where we have like a free day essentially to work on something that we would otherwise like to put into game or build on our art skills. That comes once a month, one Friday a month we get to do that. We've not actually done it, have we, since we started Zeah, so it's essentially off for us. We need to get Zeah done, so we're not going to be doing any personal projects until this is out. Why is Alfie so shy? Why are you so shy?
Why am I so shy? Why did you write that question down?
Because it would put you on the spot.
I know. I'm not shy. I'm just. I'm not very talkative when I'm working, to be honest.
That's fine. It is a bit of a skill to learn, isn't it?
You're quite good at it. You can talk and model at the same time, but I just can't really. Okay. Well, I'll try. That's why I'm here.
You're doing a grand job, mate. You're doing a grand job.
I'm really not. But
no, it's fine. You are. It's looking good. How do we not get frustrated when designing with 3D programs? Oh, we do. We get very frustrated, don't we?
Yeah.
You, what's the most frustrated you've ever been?
Probably when Maya crashes and I've forgotten to save my work or something like that. That's probably when I've just flipped out and just left 3D for a whole day or something.
Wow, okay.
But yeah, not forgetting to save my work and Maya crashes, that's like the worst thing that can ever happen.
See, I always used to forget to save my work before I actually worked in the games industry. Now I do. I know that if I don't save my work, I'm going to get into a lot of trouble because I won't meet my deadline, so I definitely make sure I save. So that isn't really an issue. Yeah. I think what bothers me is a map editor probably, because we'll do several actions in map editor, then press Control and Z. It will remove probably about 5 minutes of work, and then when you try and get those changes back, you won't be able to. It's just a very old, cantankerous piece of software that we just have to use. We've got no other choice, really. Yeah. I don't know why people want it. It would drive you insane. It crashes all the time. So how's this different from making one half and not mirroring it, what you're doing at the moment, Alfred?
Yeah.
So what Alfie's doing at the moment is making not a symmetrical form, he's making an asymmetrical form.
So yeah. I did just mirror this, by the way. I made one side and I mirrored it to make the full leaf, so that is something. But yeah, with this, as you said, it's a sphere. You can't really, all sides are different, so you won't get the same on every side, so you can't really mirror that.
That's right. So when we create, the good thing about old school RuneScape in a way with graphics is we can be as asymmetrical with our models as we like. In more contemporary games, because they use textures, they have to bear in mind the surface area of an object will take up a certain amount of the texture image that they use on it. Yeah. So a lot of the time in more modern games, they'll actually cut a model in half and actually just texture one side, then mirror it. That way they can have a higher resolution texture on the model as a whole. Some games will try and introduce some asymmetry by copying one half, mirroring it, then taking certain elements like a sash across the body or some hair with the polygons move differently, and that will create a sense of asymmetry on the model without too much cost on the texture budget that they have for that particular model. With us, we don't use textures, so Alfred, as you can see here, can create something with lots of different dimensions that are all asymmetrical to no extra cost to the game. Yeah. When will my hair come into game? I don't want to do my hair in game. A lot of people have asked for an Ash pet, and I asked Ash if he'd like it, and he said no as well to that. I think it kind of feels like if you're doing something like that, then it's not for the greater good of the community. It's just something that came up sort of like apropos of nothing, and it's also a bit self-indulgent as well. So I'd probably shy away from putting anything like that in game, to be honest, just because. Although, like, you guys that interact with us on stream might think it's great and funny, a lot of people just won't get it. So, especially with me as well, because I'm not as well known as someone like Ash, so I don't think people would really get where the haircut came from. Yeah, absolutely. So it's not really as relevant for me. Right, okay, that's it. I've run out of questions. Yeah. But you put the Ash emote in game. Yeah, we created the Ash emote because Ash is probably very popular amongst the community. So many people know him, even outside of the RuneScape community now.
That's why he's got so many followers.
Yeah, so
he's head of everyone.
For the well of goodwill, we wanted to do something that the community would understand. So we decided, you know, in regards to your interactions with us, so we did Ronan's bowl haircut, and we also did the Ash emote. That didn't end up getting unlocked in the end, so it was just kicking around in our archives. So Ash just decided to put it into the Halloween event. It went down really well. So that was really just something that was made and never really got released into game.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Someone said they didn't expect me to answer the hair question so seriously. I'm very serious. I don't do jokes really, do I?
Yeah, you don't. No,
3 jokes a day.
Yeah.
That's the limit.
The limit.
No
Yeah.
more than that.
He's already over his limit.
I'm
Come on,
over my
guys.
limit today.
No more jokes.
I'm gonna have to go home and have a scalding hot shower or something.
Think about life.
Yeah, definitely. It's not right.
So yeah, at the moment I'm making the bigger versions of the leaves. You can see here.
Sorry, Alfie. Okay, so just ask away a few questions. I'm going to be writing down a few more questions now. And once Alfred runs out of things to talk about, I'll jump in with your questions.
Yeah, I'm
run out of
selecting.
things
Yeah. No, so I'm selecting these smaller leaves now. I'm bringing them down a little bit more because when you're modelling, you've got to take in consideration like jagged will basically screw over your models if they're not. If the geometry isn't aligned properly. We've got something called rendering order, which basically is really annoying. RuneScape 3 doesn't have it, but we do. So basically, it basically takes some objects and renders them over others according to a number. So if I have, so basically you start from 1 and you work your way up to 10. So if I want these leaves to show, they would have to be 7, and then these leaves up here would have to be a 6 for these leaves to show, because the smaller leaves are in front of the bigger leaves. I'll show you that later in Jagged, what I mean, if you guys don't really understand that. But the rendering order is a big issue that you have to take in consideration whilst modelling. Just scaling down these smaller leaves. Cool. Actually, this looks like it's a lot bigger than a 3x3 like I said it was going to be earlier. But I'll minimise that down later. It's like a 10x10 or something. Crazy. Anyway, so what's next to model?
I'd say these bits of the leaves are
too
pointy.
These ones. Yeah, these ones.
These bits where they actually join onto the plant, there's
Yeah.
like those gaps just there.
Sure, I'll delete them and close them up. Yeah, it's good to have a different artist on the team. Like, you get feedback, and it's just a lot easier to kind of work as well, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, you get like, oops, no, didn't do that.
Although sometimes it can be like quite harsh, because you will be in a rush, and then one of us will ask for feedback, and the other person's just like, you come out with your feedback like in about 5 seconds and list 5 things that are wrong, and then go back to work, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks. Was anything good about it?
Yeah. That's good. Any feedback is good, really.
There's some questions in here that make us sound like a married couple.
Really?
It's like they're talking to Richard and Judy or something.
Just moving these leaves back a bit. I don't want them to be colliding with the bottom leaf.
I wish I could write some of these questions down. Can we just do like a sort of like a 15 plus stream or something
15?
like that? Or 12A.
Yeah. What do you think of how strict the old school community is on new content? That's a good question. I'll answer that later.
Okay, cool. Do you remember what the question was? Because I missed that.
How strict we are on new content, I think.
I think. On new content. Okay, cool. I'll ask these questions now then. How many scripters have we got on the Old School Runescape team? If by scripters you mean people that actually write script and program and create content, I'm going to include Ian in this as well, who's our engine developer.
Yeah, he's definitely a coder.
Yeah. So we've got Mod Maz, we've got Mod Ian, we've got Mod Ash, we've got a new chap starting soon. I don't know if I can mention names of that because that has to be sort of
Probably
broadcasted
not,
properly,
yeah.
but we can definitely say we've got someone new starting soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll meet him in a few weeks, I should think, on
Yeah,
stream.
he's relocating, I think. Shouldn't have
Oh,
said that, but
we
yeah.
can't say anything,
No, we can't say
really.
anything, but
So
it's too
let's
late.
not. What's my favourite RS model designed by someone else? I like the slime pits a lot. It's one of my favourite environments, just because there's an interesting use of colour in that place, and I like the way that they've actually done some harsh contrasts on the shading. And that actually taught me a lot about how I make my own kits, because it doesn't look so grid based actually.
Yeah.
Just the way it's shaped, and it just seems a lot more organic and rounded. So that's my favourite environment. We also looked through some old Quest models as well, and I wish we could find the mouse model. You'd probably have it on your computer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's a massive mouse though.
It's
that Quest where you have that big mouse and you're some tiny little person.
Yes, that's right.
That's one.
Yeah.
That's the Quest. I don't know if you guys know what it
The
is.
mouse is. Oh, actually, wait. The Calphi Queen.
Yeah, that's a good model.
That's amazing, that model. If you see it up close, it just looks fantastic.
Yeah.
There's some really cool models in game, and a lot of the models that I make that people say look really detailed, it's always based off those old models. We mentioned this last week. When you actually look through the archives, there's some serious love that's gone into these models. Even before they had 3ds Max, some of these models were made, and
Yeah,
they
it's
just look
crazy.
really spot on and really concise for what they are.
Anything modelled in Jagged is and if it looks good, if you've modelled it in Jagged and it looks good, that is serious work, man.
Yeah.
There's the amount of tools that you have in Maya compared to Jagged is just crazy. You're really limited when you're working with Jagged on its own anyway. So yeah, I've created these big leaves now. I'm going to be creating the bulbs that will be inside them. Let's make, I'm going to do this. Okay. I'm going to make loads of different, loads of small cylinders or diamond-shaped cylinders. Not cylinders, sorry, spheres. What am I talking about? The polygon count. It will make it a lot easier to connect them up. 4x4. Like that. Actually,
Do you mind if I speak?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Right, so we covered that one. Right, will the Monkey Madness quest be called Monkey Madness 2? No, because that would be very strange if we did that and very unimaginative. So a lot of the quests that get made always get given names for when they're in development, and then towards the end of the production process, someone will think up of a name that's more fitting to what's actually been produced. A lot of the time, it's a lot easier to name something once you finish designing it, just because what you name it is going to be more relevant. It would be nice if we could almost wait until the end of Zeah before we gave it a name, but
yeah,
it's kind of comes
don't
with
really
that
want to
legacy.
call it Zeah, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I don't know if we.
I shouldn't have said that, but like,
No.
you know,
Never mind. You said it now.
yeah.
Okay.
We could have thought of a cooler name, just saying.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it would have been nicer to have something more relevant, I
Yeah.
guess, but people know it as Zeah now, so we'll call it Zeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we ever fight?
No? Yes, actually. No.
I don't know.
Okay.
What's your definition of fighting?
I don't know what fighting. We have small.
We occasionally just get a bit grumpy and
Yeah,
won't talk
'cause
for a little while.
Yeah, we get grumpy because we got so much work on, but
Yeah.
that's only because of work. If we didn't have that, we wouldn't be arguing.
Yeah, absolutely. So
We're not even arguing. It's just
it's just
talking.
it's silence, isn't it?
yeah, it's just silence. I don't
No.
like arguing.
I think we're both very chilled out people, so the likelihood of us ever like arguing or fighting would be very unlikely.
Yeah, very.
But obviously, we're both creative people, so we're going to have differences of opinions.
Yeah,
On occasion that happens, doesn't it?
yeah.
Will sailing have as much content as Zeah if it's released in the future? I don't really know what the future of sailing is. Potentially in a year we could talk about it more. I don't know how much content it would have. I can't see it really having as much content as the combined area of Zeah, although it would have tied in very nicely to Zeah, just because there's a vast body of water keeping players distant from it. It'd be nice to explore some channel islands around Zeah and things like
Yeah,
that. 'Cause
definitely.
that was originally planned in the
Yeah.
first place to have channel islands, but we've kind of got rid of that now to crop it down a bit. A year is a rough estimate for how long it would wait to repole it, I should think. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I can't look into the future. We might never repole it. We might repole it in 6 months' time. It's not my decision, but that's just going on what I've heard.
Everyone that we've asked about sailing though has said, "Oh, we really wanted it." I'm a bit confused why it didn't pass, but it almost did. So
Yeah, it
we'll see
almost
how people,
passed.
if they've changed their minds in a year, because I think we did that before. People did change their minds, and something that we voted before, it failed, and then we polled it again and it passed. So this could be the same thing with sailing. You never know, but yeah.
Okay, what do we think about how strict players are on new content? I think the fact that we've got a polling system in place helps us gauge what people think in the first place. I don't really mind people being strict. I prefer someone give me a concise idea of what to do,
Yeah.
as opposed to releasing something completely blind to what everyone's going to think and then potentially getting a bad reaction right at the end of it and thinking, well, what was the point in that? We just wasted loads of development time. Which I suppose is what's beneficial about Zeah going out in just a couple of months, because we can gauge people's reaction to it, see if they like what we've done. And we haven't spent a whole year on it and just wasted all that time with people saying, oh, we don't actually like this. So yeah.
That's exactly why we're doing like implements of expansions.
Yeah, doing phases. I mean, once
Yeah.
Zeah goes out, we'll obviously be taking lots of feedback on how we should, and take it in consideration when the next part of Zeah goes out. Is Zeah going to be 50% the size of the existing map, and will it be dead content if that's the case? It would definitely be dead content if it was 50% the size of the map. We can't create 50% of RuneScape in 2 months, definitely not. So, no, it's not going to be 50% of the map. It's just going to be as big as it reasonably needs to be. You've actually got a map of Karen just there, haven't you?
Yeah,
so we
I'll
can just
do
show
that.
you a map. It's 7x7 map squares at the moment.
Not this one. This one.
So, have you got the
the
one
actual
that
map?
drew?
Sorry, yeah.
The actual map.
Let me open it up.
Okay.
Actually, it's in here
So we're going to
somewhere.
show you a map of Karen, which is the area that we're releasing in phase 1. Just to let, have you got the one with the actual existing map on it as well? Just so we can give them
Not
a
with the
basis for
existing map.
comparison.
I do, but it's got that over it.
Oh, that's fine. That's
Yeah.
all right. We can just show them like the bulk area, just to show them how
This
big it
is a
is.
scribbled map. This is something I use when I'm modelling down, placing down assets onto the map. You can see.
Okay, so this is currently the size of Karen at the moment. This is just the phase 1 release. I could probably say that because we're going to have 6 months on the next bit of content as well, and 6 months on the one following that, that this area just here is very small in comparison to what the rest of it's going to be. It'd probably be about, actually, if we move across this map.
Yeah. I don't have the whole map there.
Oh, you don't have
This
the whole
is,
map.
Yeah, there's still a lot more, but
So if
only
there's
use a
another
little
map over here, it might actually be roughly 50. Is it? No way. It might even be 50% of the map.
yeah.
It might be 50% of the map after all. Who would have known?
Crazy.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to be taking more questions now. Alfred's going to talk you through exactly what he's doing once again. What's the time right now?
It's almost 7 now.
You're
damn
coming
it.
up to 7 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
I
you've
need
got
to
to
put it
colour
in.
this as well.
I'll put it in. I'm almost done with this anyway.
Okay,
I'm going to try and be as quick as I can.
time is running out.
I know, right? So yeah, right now I'm creating the top bit of the bulb. So this is the
So,
protrusion that will come out of the hole here, you see here. So I'll select the top bit, obviously it's cutting into the leaves. And I'll decrease the size.
sorry, I'll just clarify.
Yeah.
Karen won't be 50% of the map from what we were just looking at just there, but there's potential that all of Zeah in its entirety, so that's phase 1 Karen, phase 2 the volcano, raids and living forest, and phase 3 the Colosseum and other expansions, the area that we can also poll at the time, that will probably be 50% of Zeah, it turns out. I wouldn't have thought it'd be that much.
No.
But it
Well, we
looks like
did
it.
say it would have been.
Yeah, but
but
I
it's
don't
pretty
think
crazy.
that's possible. But anyway,
Yeah.
we'd see. So what are you doing now, Alfred?
I'm creating the top bit of the bulb. I actually want this bit to be a bit longer actually. I'm gonna move these up a little bit. Actually, I'll combine them. So to combine you press Ctrl G and it combines the whole thing without actually properly properly combining them. Oh no, maybe it doesn't. I have to combine it. Mesh, combining the mesh. I want this top bit to come out a little bit more. So I'm just selecting the verts and pushing them up a little bit. That's better, shouldn't have done that. Let's go into this view, select the verts from here. Looks a bit like a pineapple now. Oh well. Separate the meshes again. I'm going to make the bottom bits of the plant now. I'll use the existing leaf and make it a bit, put a few more chamfers into it, not chamfers, bevels, so that it looks a bit more curly.
People are asking what you're making there, Alfred.
I'm making a plant for the TIFF minigame, which is similar to Livid Farm. It's for the House Fastidious. It looks a bit like Bulbasaur's back at the moment. Yeah.
If you kind of like imagine almost like a turnip or something like that that's in the ground, is that right? It's
Yeah,
turnips?
pretty much turnip.
So, or like a giant pumpkin. It's going to look kind of like one of those plants that looks like a squash, I suppose. And it's going to have sort of, it's going to be red in colour, isn't it? With sort of green spots and everything over it. Yeah, and it's for a new mini-game that we're going to be creating on a new continent for House Hosidus. And what's the mini-game called again?
It's called TIFF.
It's called TIFF.
TIFF, I don't know how you pronounce it.
TIFF is spelled T-I-T-H-E, isn't it?
T-I-T-H-E, yeah.
Yeah. So what you're going to have to do is grow these plants by watering them. You'll have a time period to water them. I think it's about 2 minutes to make it progress to the next growth stage. You'll obviously have lots of these plants, so you'll be running around all over the place collecting water to water them. If you don't water them in time, they'll become diseased and die. As well as that, if you I think it's when it's on its second of the third stages. If you manage to water it within a minute, then you'll get a better crop as a result of doing that. So it's just a much more engaging way of growing plants and farming them, getting farming XP.
It's a lot funner than just waiting like half an hour for your plant to grow. You can just do this mini game and get XP for doing that. It's a lot funner.
And it doesn't give you an elevated level of XP either.
No.
We're not just trying to like just sell you XP here and hope you like it. It's more just a way of giving you something that's engaging, as opposed to just something that's completely AFKable.
Yeah. This is nowhere near AFKable.
Yeah.
Literally, you've got to be running around every 2 minutes, every 10 seconds even, checking your plants.
That's it. By funner, I suppose that is a very loose term, I'll be more specific. By funner, I just mean more engaging and something where you have to interact with it on a continual basis instead of just clicking a few buttons to grow your plants and then walking away and coming back half an hour later to see how things are going on.
Yeah.
So you'll pretty much be doing farming in more of a real-time sense. It's not inferior XP. I think the XP rates have been polled on the dev blog. So if you go to our dev blog on, what's the address?
Oldschool.runescape.com.
That's it, www.oldschool.runescape.com, which will post that address for you now. You'll be able to see our dev blog there, and it'll give you full details of this mini game that we're actually doing. There we go, top stuff. Thank you, Shawnee, for getting us that link.
Yeah, I'm creating the bottom leaves now. As you can see, I've made them a bit more curlier than the top ones. Not too curly though. I don't want to use too many polygons for this plant. It's already quite high, I think. Let me check. 580 polygons. Not too bad. I think we're almost done. I'm going to put it into jagged now and see how it looks. Might have to make some more changes just in case it doesn't render properly or something. Just do this last side here. Will the TIFF minigame have Jedi activity?
You can tell the new Star Wars film's coming out.
Yeah.
A year ago, we'd be getting no Star Wars comments at this point.
I know, right?
Are you excited for it?
I actually haven't. I've seen the first Star Wars,
Okay.
which is.
Oh wait, yeah, you've only just started.
Yeah, I've only just started watching it.
started watching Star Wars. What is wrong with this
I'm
man?
sorry, man. I watched the first movie. Not technically the first movie, but the first movie in the kind of series, not series, but
You mean
the franchise, whatever.
The worst one.
The worst one, yeah. Yeah, that's why I don't want to watch the rest, to be honest. I watched that and I was like, nah.
Yeah, I didn't really like the new movies, to be honest. I thought the best ones. My favourite Star Wars film is easily The Empire Strikes Back. If you watch that one,
Yeah.
that is just it's just perfect all the way through.
Who's the villain in that one?
Who's the villain? It's
Yeah.
Darth Vader in that one, and
Oh, right,
the
okay.
Emperor makes his first real appearance, I think, when he speaks to him in hologram form.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really good, yeah.
Okay. Who's your favourite character from Star Wars?
From the whole entire canon, not
Yeah,
just.
the whole entire kind of films. Yeah.
Okay, bearing in mind we're just sticking to the films.
Yeah.
My favourite character would probably be. I like Emperor Palpatine actually. The Emperor, he's my favourite.
Fair enough.
He's just cool. His name's Darth Sidious. His Darth name. Jar Jar. Do not say Jar Jar.
Mine's Jar Jar.
That is
I was gonna say.
horrendous. I can't stand that character. Oh my god.
I love Jar Jar.
I think I would have preferred it if it was not CGI, because it just
Really?
looked so fake. It looked terrible all the way through it. The whole time I was just thinking, there's that effect on screen again. I didn't really feel like it was a proper character, not like something like Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
where you
I
just-
see what you mean.
That's amazing. That you completely believe he's real in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's just fantastic.
The movie was made quite a while back, I think, but well, the one with Jar Jar Binks, where you first see him. Wait, when do you actually first see Jar Jar Binks? Is it in the first movie or?
Yeah, it is in the first
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. Someone just said Jar Jar is the reason why the rebellion was ever formed. I don't know if that's true or not. It's been so long since I've seen it. It would be tragic if it is. It's almost made me want to watch it again. Almost. I am a hater of Jar Jar Binks. I'll admit to that. I'm sorry. He just ruined everything for me.
So at the moment I'm just scaling the model up so it can fit in a 3x3, which is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it needs to be a lot bigger. 1, 2, 3. That should work. Cool.
People are asking now what order they should watch the Star Wars film in. I would recommend Episode 4, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi first, because there's a massive spoiler right in the middle of that trilogy that you don't really want to spoil for yourself by watching the first 3 films, which are something for Episode 1, something Episode 2, something Episode 3. I don't know. They made 3 more. You
Fair
can
enough.
also watch those, I think.
So right now I'm opening 3ds Max. This is a tool I use to export models out and then put them into Jagged. We have this cool software called Jagex Tools. You can use it to polycolor your models. You can also use it to do other cool things. I haven't really explored into it, but there's a load of cool stuff you can do with it. So I'm just going to export it as a Jagged file. Oh, which is not even in. Hold on. Here it is. Give it a second.
Is it just crashed?
I don't think it's crashed.
Did you save the file, Alfred?
No, this is 3ds Max.
Oh, thank God.
It's fine.
Did you save your Maya file?
I'll save it now.
Do you
Yeah.
I'm really bad for that.
I think it saves it anyway automatically. I'll make
Okay.
sure of that. But yeah, just save your files out, guys.
Could you imagine if you just lost all of that and do it right in the middle of the stream?
That would have been the most embarrassing moment of my
Oh
life.
boy.
Yeah, 3ds Max has been a nuisance.
There's that Family Guy quote of the Emperor. Something, something dark side. Something complete.
It was a really good impression, man. Watch in order 1738. Is that the order it goes in? Or are you just trolling?
There isn't an episode 7 out yet. You can't even watch that. Yeah, it's definite troll. And episode 8.
This guy doesn't even know his Star Wars.
Don't listen. You might be on about Friday the 13th and just made a horrible mistake.
Cool. So Max is loaded. Let's try and import it in again into the new scene. Hey, it worked. Okay. Let's see if it exports into a jagged. Can't spell today. Bulb plant. Hey, did it. Cool. So that's not jagged, is it? Let's open up jagged. There's a lot of clicking process to get it open. So this is our tool, jagged. You've probably seen it a ton of times before. We'll put in our bulb plant in here. Yeah. This is the plant in jagged. It actually looks not too bad with rendering issues.
I think
I might have
you
to
get away with that, to be
yeah,
honest.
I might have to duplicate these leaf models up here, because as you can see when you rotate they're just invisible. When you duplicate it and then invert the normals, you'll be able to see the front side of it, which I'll show you later. Anyway, soft it. Yeah.
Yeah, it always looks nicer with organic shapes when they've got the smoothing on, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It looks like a weird kind of pineapple.
It does. It'll look better once it's coloured, though.
Yeah.
I think we've got an idea of what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I've got the colour sheet here.
Yeah.
Should we do it the same colour, or do you want it? Should we just do it a bit lighter to match this video?
Do something a bit different, yeah.
Yeah?
Why not? Just make it up as you go. I suppose just make sure it's like green and red and yellow, just so it kind of
Yeah.
like suits the colours of House Hosidus, really.
Make it a bruised plum. It's my favourite colour.
And bruised plum's your favourite colour.
Yeah, bruised plum.
And
colour.
everyone said that I like purple. I don't know where that came from. I don't really like purple. I just keep getting given projects where like the most appropriate colour for that particular project is purple.
Yeah.
It's like design something that looks like someone's insides.
Purple.
Purple.
That's a nice purple. Do you think that's a nice purple?
I think it's awful.
What?
That's a nasty looking
Oh,
purple.
damn it. Okay, we've got to change the colour.
I think it needs to be redder.
Redder, okay.
Yeah. So, and I'd say probably like, because it's you want more yellow tones in there, move it down to the bottom red. So
Yeah.
on the slider, so make sure the hue's sort of like just dipped in orange a little bit.
Let's do that, right. So,
Yeah, there we go.
Wait, bring it back here.
And turn the saturation up so the red really comes through.
Like
There you
that?
go. I reckon that colour would be okay. Probably a bit redder, but
Ooh, that's a
Oh.
nice orange.
I'm not sure. It needs to be a bit redder, I
Yeah,
think.
let's try it.
How are we doing for time at the moment?
We've got,
You have 20 minutes to colour
yeah,
this in.
we're on it, guys. That's very red, though. I think,
But I'd reckon you should do it red, then do
Yeah.
like some yellow around the top rim, just here where the leaves are,
oh yeah,
and then create a gradient of yellow going into the red from
that's
the
a good
top.
idea. Let's do that now, actually. So select this top bit here. I pressed B, and B is our kind of marquee selection tool. It's a bit weird in jagged compared to other tools, but remember, we don't blame tools. Okay. So let's bring it up from the red color that we have. So I'm just using this slider so it stays in the same swatch position. I guess that's a good way to go about it, maybe?
You can do that. You can also use the hue slider and the saturation
And that'll-
sliders.
Oh, right, yeah, the
Yeah.
hue slider will do it for you. There you go. And then saturation moves it left and right. Value moves it up and down. You don't really want to touch value
Okay.
when you're doing gradient anyway.
Do you want to work fast and I'll do
Yeah,
the talking for
okay,
you?
cool.
Okay, right, you work as fast as you can, Alfred.
Cool.
Right, so what Alfred's got to do now is colour the model in. And the best thing for him to choose is a yellow, just to put at the top of this plant, and then create gradients of orange going down into the red so we can have like a nice mixture. What he can do then is next to the RGB button, which you can see down here, which I wish you could see me pointing, that he's just clicked on, he can just adjust the value and the saturation and the hue into those oranges a bit more each time he changes the colour down.
I don't like that. Let's go back.
Cool, probably a bit more orange, so if you just adjust the hue.
Yeah.
Actually, you could probably leave saturation and value alone,
Yeah.
and just use the hue
use
alone.
hue. Cool. It's very colourful, man.
That is really vibrant, isn't it? We'll probably have to kill some of these colours.
Yeah,
down.
we'll desaturate it later, but we're going to put the block colours in first.
Yeah.
It's just a lot easier to do it like that. You can't really pick exact colours because, yeah, you'll never get them right.
I'll be amazed if you manage to do it in the time we've got left. If we can't get this done today, guys, it will just mainly be the case that we'd be posting it on social media afterwards, just show you the finished product. And also, when we create one of these videos, we're posting them up on YouTube afterwards, so you can watch the previous weeks. And if there's something that we haven't been able to complete in that time, we'll just tag it on the end of the video,
Yeah.
so you can watch it all back, and then you just get a final image of everything. So it's just a bit more concise.
Select this edge. Cool. Got that. And let's move the hue down a little bit more. You can see that there's a slow gradient. Not really slow. The top bit's actually quite vibrant.
Steep there.
Yeah. Not a slow gradient at all. Ideal. Okay, let's move this.
Try
yellow.
adding a hint of green in that, I think, as well.
At the top or?
Yeah, I reckon about there. It might look awful. I think I'm just giving you a really bad bit of advice.
I'm going to make the green boils and see how they look.
Yeah,
not
throw in the green.
Yeah, let's try the green. Okay, so we'll select the edges of the boils now. I don't really know what to call them. Are they boils? They're not really boils, are they? They're just like...
I think, what do you call them? We'll call them...
protrusions.
Protuberances.
Protrusions.
Protuberances.
Protruberances. Okay.
Alright, this is our first fight. Protuberances. Protrusions.
This is a very colourful plant, man. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, these plants are supposed to look quite unusual, I suppose.
Yeah.
They're supposed to look very alien and strange. Just because a lot of Zeah needs to do what the graphics haven't really done in the past. Otherwise, we're just giving you like a repeat of what's on the mainland.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So stylistically, we're going to try and keep it looking like Old School Runescape, but certainly with the themes, everything's going to be slightly wackier in-house Hossidus, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
As far as farming
The
goes.
plants are just crazy, like poisonous. Maybe well, not all of them are poisonous, but we can have some poisonous
Are we
plants.
doing poisonous plants now?
I don't know.
If you just throw that in there?
I think we should.
You're making stuff up now, Alfred.
I'm allowed to throw ideas in, man.
You are allowed to
Yeah.
throw ideas in. That's very
Not dumb ideas like that.
I didn't mean to shoot the conversation down. I'm
That's
sorry, that's wrong with me.
But yeah, just crazy kind of looking plants. Any kind of, I don't know. I'm going to be making these plants next week, I think. But, yeah.
Are the leaves attached to the model as well?
The bottom ones aren't. The top ones are. Though.
Okay, fair enough.
So we'll see how the bottom ones work out. If we don't, we'll probably have to redo it. But take that one. Yeah, still selecting the faces. Two more left. Let's do it really quick. There isn't a quick way of selecting faces in Jagged. Like in Maya, you can double click the face and it will select all the faces along that edge or along that loop, and you can select it in a second. But with Jagged, you've got to select every single face individually and colour them in.
What does it taste like? I don't even know if you're supposed to eat it. We haven't decided that yet. What are the benefits of getting this plant? Does it say in the
Increased
document?
eyesight.
Increased eyesight?
Yeah.
It's great. You'll be able to see better when you play the game, apparently.
Or decreased eyesight, actually.
Decreased eyesight?
Yeah.
You are making this up now. I don't believe there's a document that says it.
No, this plant doesn't really do anything. You just grow it, you get XP from it. It's,
Okay. Do you not
it's
even sell
visual.
it to anyone to
You
sort
probably
of
could,
give
actually.
it some sort of worth? Like give it
Actually,
to
yeah,
an
you get
NPC?
rewards out of it, I think.
Okay,
yeah,
fair
so you
enough.
grow it fully and you give it to the NPC and you'll give you rewards or XP.
It does look like a Jamaican flag, doesn't it? Okay, so what's the time? Look at you've got 15 minutes to get this done, Alfred.
Okay. I'm starting to sweat, man. It's like Hell's Kitchen right here.
I remember.
It actually feels like Hell's Kitchen. It's really hot in this studio.
I remember last week when I was doing the modelling.
Yeah.
I'd been doing it 5 minutes, and instantly my shirt was soaked. It's very nerve-wracking.
Is that
to do
aircon?
it.
Oh, so we've got aircon.
We have aircon.
Yeah.
We have aircon at last. Shawnee, are you going to be coming in every week? Because you're really useful.
You are actually. You're a lifesaver, man. It's the last thing I'm doing. Add it in. Cool. I think we might have to play around with these colours a little bit more. I don't really like them.
They look very sort of in your face at the moment, don't they? There needs
Yeah.
to be some sort of subtlety, but let's not do it now.
No?
Let's
Okay.
get the rest of the plant coloured.
Okay,
You can do this, Alfred.
Got this.
I'll just bulk select that whole thing, 10
Yeah.
green. Literally all of it. Just
All of it? The whole top bit?
Just grab
Alright,
the whole
let's do
thing,
it.
turn it green, then you can just, pick specifics
Alright,
after.
what colour? Let's do a darkish kind of greens. Maybe this. A bit more saturation. See that?
Cool, there we go. Yes.
Okay, we'll select these top bits quick. So I'm selecting the kind of stem roots of the leaf. I'm going to make them a lighter colour, just to have some variation in the leaf. Come on. Finger cramps incoming. What are people saying? It looks like a rainbow pop. It looks tasty.
It's like a rainbow poop.
Rainbow pop. Oh, poop.
He did say poop. A
Sorry.
rainbow poop. I have no idea what you've been eating, but I think I'll stay away from it, thanks. That size as well. Oh, that's a bit of an awkward shape there, isn't it?
Cool.
A juju
Alfred, do you
plant,
like
actually.
A juju plant?
Yeah.
That sounds like some sort of witchcraft. Witchcraft
Do we not have
plant.
juju plants?
I think so.
No? Okay. I will say no more then, in case I make a fool out of myself. Yeah,
get
this
rid of
guy's
it.
saying the leaves should be darker in here. And
Yeah.
I agree with him. Yeah,
Cool.
you need to make them darker.
Hey, we're in a rush here, okay?
You can do a right click, hold out right click, colour select and make all of that darker.
Let's go. Hold on a minute. Okay.
I wish we need countdown music for like the last 10 minutes,
No.
don't we?
No countdown music.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
See those middles of the leaves pop now.
Sure.
That's what we want. More community engagement. Come on, tell us if you think it doesn't look like how you want it to.
Yeah,
Start
tell
shouting out ideas, and we'll be changing it as we model for these last 10 minutes.
I'm going to make these a darker colour because they're underneath the bigger leaf. So obviously the light isn't passing through. Make these a bit darker.
Yeah, that's cool. No music this week. Why is there no music this week? I think.
We didn't set it up. Did we?
Yeah, we didn't set it up. We've not got a studio technician this week, so we're a bit unsure of how to set up our music. We set up everything else though. We did all right, didn't
yeah,
we?
we did good.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're just learning how to use the streaming room as well, so we can be a bit more independent in the evenings. So we'll get there. Hopefully, like by about episode 10, like the last one. We'll
Yeah,
have it.
we'll be masters of this
Yeah.
studio. Okay, so let's get these small bits here.
People want
Colour.
purple spikes. We should so make those
Purple.
spikes purple. Just do it.
Purple spikes. These
Yeah.
spikes. Okay, let's make them purple. Prussian blue.
Do the pothole in orange. That is. What's the pothole?
What is the pothole? Use cyan.
Cyan will not
that
go
is
well
terrible.
here.
Come on, guys.
Purple is acceptable.
We need good good feedback. Come on. Use titanium white. I don't think we have that colour. No. Okay, so purple. Let's try purple.
I don't even like purple.
You do.
It just goes with stuff.
Right, let's move this up here a little bit.
If you look at a colour wheel, you'll see magenta exactly opposite from green, so it provides a really good contrast.
That is a really good shout. I like that
It
purple.
looks nice. Whoever suggested that knows their colour wheel. Well done.
Well done, man. Obviously an artist. Whoa.
I watched the Bob Ross stream. I love Bob Ross. My stepdad introduced me to his television show when I was studying art, and I think it's amazing.
Damn reference.
We need more black in RuneScape. There is going to be a house whose colours are predominantly black and red with some bone white thrown in as well. It will be very dark.
You'll probably see that next week, maybe?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Yeah.
The armour for it's going to be of the same colour scheme as well. I can't wait to design that armour. It's really going to be something that appeals. Get the feeling.
Is it going to be bone armour?
There's going to be it's going to be red and black, predominantly black with just hints of red here and there, and there's going to be white bits of bone attached to it in places too.
Nice. Make this a little bit darker. Come on.
Bone white, guys, not titanium white. Sorry. Unless we're fighting Terminators, then we could salvage parts of them, couldn't they? Instead of using bones.
I'm just going to get these leaves and I'm going to duplicate them and then invert the normals because at the moment they are invisible when you look at them.
If Alfred rotates the camera around to on the back of these leaves,
Yeah,
you can see that polygons only render in one direction. This is called the surface normal. If the normal is facing towards you, you can see the polygon. If the normal is facing away, you can't see the polygon. So what Alfred's going to do now is select all the polygons on this leaf and
Yeah.
invert those normals. He's going to duplicate the polygons, And then by inverting those normals, you can see we've now got 2 sets of polygons facing in both directions, so we can see exactly what they are.
Yeah. Okay. Do that with every leaf. That's everything, yeah. So what I'm pressing is D is duplicate, and I is invert. Done that one, let's do this one. Needs more white. No, I don't think it needs any white, to be honest. Okay, duplicate this.
Saved. Have you saved this, Alfred?
Oh no, I haven't.
I'm going to be asking
bulb.
you this at work, like upstairs. With Alfred, have you saved your work this morning?
Luckily,
by any chance?
Maya has an auto-save function.
It does.
Although Jagged needs to step its game up.
In many respects.
Here we go again. Okay, let's move this out a little bit more.
We're going to get that every time.
Yeah.
Good workmen never blame their tools. It is true, actually. I believe that you should be able to make good art regardless of what software you're given. You just work within the limitations and make it as best you can. And often, as we can see with a lot of things in RuneScape Old School, we do get some nice looking assets when people work by that ethic.
Yeah.
I think where the art style kind of falls flat, and often you get assets which don't look as good, is when people try to make realistic looking models using these tools. I think you have to work within the confines of the tools personally.
Making shapes, just make bold shapes really. You can't really have loads of detail on.
I think those leaves should
probably
be the same
we're gonna
colour
have
as
to
the ones above as well.
Which ones? These ones?
Yeah.
You reckon?
Trust me.
Okay.
Just trust me, Alfred.
We'll do it. We'll do it. I trust you. Do it. Oh, God's sake. Okay.
Can you press L just to select them?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
How long do we have left?
We have 6 minutes left. So doing those leaves green has balanced out the bottom and top section, so the bottom section doesn't detract from the eye too much. It just appears to sit nicely in between those greens. That is what that has done.
Yeah. Not enough time. No.
I wanted to do an underwater place actually, because people are mentioning SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, so yeah, this is. Yeah, I saw you looking at that earlier. SpongeBob, was it
I'd
yesterday?
so like to do something like that. I think
Does it at the house?
it does look like SpongeBob's Pineapple House, doesn't it?
Yeah. Put some magenta in between the leaves.
Yeah, actually, magenta might be nice if you added some magenta. Yeah, there needs to be more magenta somewhere.
Yeah.
What about the spots? Make the spots magenta, see if that works. Like, just make the centres of them magenta, or maybe the outer edges. Or maybe you could do, like, a plane with flying over it that's magenta. 6 minutes. Magenta's the colour you've already, like, applied onto there.
So what, you want me to put that colour on the leaves?
Yeah, spread it out a bit.
What, on the middle of the leaves or on the
try
outside?
that on the middle of the
In
leaves.
the
I
middle
think
of the
that'd be
leaves.
interesting.
Alright, let's see.
It might be a disaster, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. On all of them? Should we try it on all?
Yeah, go on. Let's see what it looks like.
Okay. Bloody hell. That does look good.
That looks vibrant now.
That looks very nice.
We are cooking with gas, people.
Yeah.
I think if you balance out the contrasts between that yellow and the red at the bottom.
Yeah. So
Might be a bit better.
this one?
Yeah, let's try.
I don't really like this yellow, but I mean I do like it, but it's just too.
I reckon if you tint the yellows with a hint of green to make them kind of like more of a, you know, like when you leave grass under a plank in your garden, when you can't be bothered to mow the
almost
lawn,
dead,
and
but not.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we'll try that. Let's move it up a little to green, but keep a bit of yellow in it, like that. That looks perfect.
Yeah, I reckon that one.
Whoa.
Oh, no, what were you thinking?
Oh, Jesus
I was
Christ.
just saying yes, to be honest.
Come on, guys. What colour?
Don't try and get out of this, Alfred.
It's not my fault. There we go. Ah, looks a lot.
It looks okay, doesn't it?
We'll still have to play with the colours a little bit.
Maybe if like the colours were working on the opposite end of the spectrum with the red, so if you kind of select the bottom colour, like that orange,
let's try
I think
that.
I led you astray in the first place, and then go to RGB at the bottom.
Right.
And
Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yep, go.
Cool. Right, so go HSV. Then move the hue right up to the top. Then reduce the hue down, so we're going slightly into purple. It's not too far. Maybe that colour just there.
Yeah.
Might time with the rest of the other colours as well. It looks ugly. It's
Ah.
horrendous.
Colours. See, this is our problem.
I know.
Making
We've only
that
got a
colour.
few colours. They don't let us have any more.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna.
I think that looks all right as it is for now.
Yeah,
To be honest,
I'm just gonna make small adjustments to these leaves here, make them a bit darker than the
Okay.
rest.
Time might be up indeed. We've got
No.
2 minutes left, Alfred.
No.
I think you should colour what you can, and then we'll zoom out and have a final shot and show
Okay.
people what you've done.
So let me just do the final touches to this bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Make that a bit lighter. Oh no, sorry. That's a bit. Okay, I'm not going to do any more on this.
That's cool. I like
Yeah.
that actually. Try and get a good angle, a good shot, then we can
Okay.
zoom in. If you remove the grid at the bottom, then
Sure.
people.
Grid, reference grid, and we'll zoom in.
There we go. I like that a lot actually. I think that is definitely going to suit itself. We'll probably soften off the gradient there between
Definitely.
the yellow and red. To
That's
si-
way too much gradient, yeah. sorry.
Absolutely. I think probably the issues we run into here with this is we've only got a certain number of polygons there to sort of run the gradient down. So because those two colours contrast so much, the gradient is very drastic, and it's very hard to find lots of individual colours in between that with that amount of geometry. So
Yeah.
if we perhaps had orange at the top or a green and then made it merge down into a colour that wasn't so contrasting, I think we'll get a final result which will be a lot less drastic on the eye. But I think that is an amazing start. I really like it. The geometry is spot on to what we were going for, really,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
So-
definitely. Yeah, as you can see, there still needs to be lots of work to be done on it. Not lots, but a little bit of here, like touch. So obviously these leaves are invisible. What we did earlier with these top leaves to make them not invisible when the camera's looking at it is just duplicating the model and then inverting the normal, which, as you can see, the difference between the bottom leaf and the top leaf here.
Thank you very much. People are saying that looks awesome.
Ah, thanks, man.
Good. You've done a good job, Alfred.
Awesome.
Right, we'll see you same time next week. That's 6 p.m.
Yeah.
GMT on a Thursday evening. Let's Design Zeah art stream with myself at Jagex Ghost and Alfred
At Jagex Alfred.
There we go.
And if you guys want to stay and watch some block and load at 8 o'clock.
We've got the block
Yeah.
and load stream at 8 o'clock tonight. That is an amazing game.
Yeah.
It's a first-person shooter game
Yeah.
which you can run around and completely thrash the hell out of your opponent. You can play in teams as well. It's also free to play if you
Yeah.
just want to jump in and have a go too. I think we've got a link to the host as well somewhere. You can just get one of those. There we go. Smooth.
Awesome.
Okay, that's cool. See you guys next week.
See ya.
Thank you very much.
Bye.